Hey everybody, welcome back to Calling Conversation with me, Rick,
And me, Nain.
and our special guest, Ron Esteller.
Esteller.
See?
You always butcher every name.
I
This is the
sure
simplest
do.
name. Just
Or
Esteller.
not-
Esteller.
Esteller.
And
That's right.
it's an easy name. I
is,
still
it is.
got it wrong.
What is your ethnic background? If you don't mind
He's a mutt.
Yes.
I'm a mutt.
Like, I did the DNA thing. Like 42% Native American, specifically Sinaloa.
asking? Okay.
39% Iberian Coast. Iberian Coast is Basque, Spain, Portugal,
Oh, okay.
and
yeah.
and 3% Bantu Sudanese.
What? Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Somebody was doing the milkman.
No, I really think it's because that region came up. The Moors conquered Spain, and
Right.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I have
yeah,
a feeling that
Okay, there's
Wow,
it's
that-
cross.
that's a funny
Contamination.
It is.
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody be like 7 or 8 ethnic groups in one shot.
That's pretty crazy. Okay.
So we're here
Yeah.
because every time we do a show, and I'm sure you've noticed because you said you watch some of our shows,
Yeah.
your name pops up.
A few times.
Yeah, he's afraid of. He's like, oh, we're in trouble. He's like, ah, damn it, my name.
No, I'd
But
like
yeah.
to be a ninja.
Yeah,
Just,
well, like I said,
The
though,
mass
your,
circle
your
for
name comes up in a lot of our conversations.
Okay.
Mickey Lopez, one of your kids,
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca,
Yes.
another one of your kids, even Dennis Duarte, one of your kids. And because you are kaiju, Bob Gomez is affiliated to it in a
known him
sense.
since he was a teen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
so, and we never got around to it, but if you watch some of our shows, we're always looking at the camera saying, Ron, we want to talk to you.
I actually have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, so...
It took us a while.
Yeah, well, Mickey reached out to me and says, "Hey, when are you
yeah.
going to get Ron on the show?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been trying. We've been wanting to, but I tell you what, our show has gotten so much traction that every week we have somebody come on.
can
And,
see that,
and we're doing this once a week. We've got 37 episodes already.
Damn, we're 37?
Yeah, so it's hard to
Since
just
May.
get to everybody, and
Wow.
to track the people down. You're not that easy of a guy to find, by the way.
Sure, I am.
But everybody says you are, but we're like, no,
You're a ninja.
You're a ninja disappearing into the night. And every time we want to get you on, somebody else goes, "Hey, can I get on your show?" So we're like, "Oh, okay, sorry, Ron, back at the list."
Yeah, haven't even confirmed yet, and all of a sudden we get other people like, "Hey, can we?" And we
Well, that's because the shows are very good, well done. And,
Thank
who
you,
is that?
thank you.
Yeah,
Mike
appreciate it,
Cardenas, right? Very cool guy.
Yeah.
We love this guy. He put us on a weird track to say that what you guys are doing for the community is incredible, and what you're doing for the families of the people that are on your show. Now they have something to look at many years down the road when the people pass, and
Yeah.
they have something.
grandchildren, great grandchildren.
That, I'm like, we never thought of that. We just said, hey, let's just
talk to
Yeah,
people.
let's just talk to people. I mean, it was never our intention to be anything more than just two guys who were
conversation,
just shooting the shit with somebody.
Pretty much. That's all
Now,
we do.
I know you got your start way back in the '60s, as far as
60s, late 67, like
Okay.
I started 8th grade in that September, so I'm going to say October, November. Probably I made a friend, Dave Bottolana, and he's the one that set me on this track. And
now.
But it wasn't kaiju though, was it?
no, it was
No.
Taekwondo at Chabot College.
Oh, okay.
I ended up there
Chabot.
twice doing Taekwondo. The first time was short stint, 6 months maybe.
Right.
Dave was my ride. His parents were my ride, and,
Oh, okay.
and he quit. And,
Carpool.
And it was, there was no way for me
Right.
to get there.
Right.
My mom worked 4 to midnight, so
Oh, wow.
I was home alone.
Right.
I didn't really go to live with
Latchkey
her.
kid.
Latchkey kid. Yeah, I had just moved back to the area. I lived with my grandfather.
You remember that phrase from back in the day when we were called
Yeah.
latchkey kids?
Yeah.
There was way too many of your ilk for you to ever be home alone. You just
Oh yeah, I'd burn the house down if I was.
That was the beginning of both parents working, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right around there. Yeah. Because I remember. I mean, I come from a huge family, so being latch kid with all the other brothers and sisters was a bad idea. you know,
Somebody would die.
somebody
Yeah.
somebody was always getting hurt. You know, with all the kung fu movies on the weekends, on Saturday, Friday nights and
Yeah.
stuff, we were doing all kinds of stupid stuff that I remember doing a flying kick off one of the beds and just smacking my head on the. I'm like, okay, that was bad. Yeah.
Too funny.
That's funny. So, only kid?
I'm an only child, yes.
Really? Wow.
You don't act like it.
No,
Because I have 1,000 brothers and
There you
sisters.
go.
that's true.
You know?
That makes
But-
sense. That makes
But
sense.
you know what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
Usually, a single child in a family, they're like arrogant little pricks, is what they become, right?
Right.
Because they're like given everything
Mm.
by the parents. Oh, you're my only child. Here's everything you ever want. So,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he was alone a lot.
yeah.
I was alone a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I had I was raised by my grandfather pretty much, Spaniard, you know, and
Oh.
so I wasn't spoiled by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm seeing. I mean, just from the way the stuff that we did on your research and all the stuff that we're looking at, it's like, okay, this guy's kind of a cool guy. He's
Yeah.
he's
Renaissance man.
well, not only that though, but you took the matter in your own hands.
Yeah.
You decided what you were going to do. You weren't going to let anybody stop you. I mean,
You don't really know the half of it.
well,
That's
and
what we're
again,
here for.
that's why we're here, right? You know, because we looked at the disco age
Oh yeah.
of you and your stuff.
Dude, you chose disco over martial arts. For a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, the fact that you were like, it got in the way of my disco. Martial arts got in the way of
I'm
my
not gonna
disco.
repeat
I mean, who the I had never heard that from a true martial artist, and you're a grandmaster, and you're saying, yeah, well, you know, martial arts got in the way of my disco, so I
No,
couldn't.
no. It was application and on-the-job training because I started as a bouncer working
Right.
the door.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So I
Okay,
worked
that's
the door.
clarification.
Yeah.
I worked the door. I was bouncing, and from there
Real
into
life.
DJ, there into dancing because I
Right.
was there, and then that led into DJ.
Right.
you know.
What clubs did you play?
I worked. I was a house DJ at Arthur's in Hayward, which was Southland Mall.
Okay.
I worked both the Lucky Lions, well, Hagenberger and up on the hill.
Right.
Hagenberger had a lot of action there. I used to party a lot on your side of the bay. I used to go to B Street on.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you know,
Oh,
I
my
was
God.
going to hit you. I know you know
B
B
Street.
Street. I know you know B Street.
I'm almost embarrassed now.
I know. But there, I know.
They know what you look like. It's too
I was
late.
like
It's
Filipino
too late.
women. What can I say, man? So I
Dude,
was at
that
B
was
Street, man.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
even
yeah,
think it's there
I've been
anymore.
around.
It's not there anymore.
Groucho's and Little Orphan Annie,
Okay,
Orphan
yeah,
Annie's, all,
yeah.
and Tingles, all that stuff. Yeah, so I was,
Wow.
I was on that
you
side
were
of
in
it.
the scene.
Oh, dude, I was. They made Saturday Night Fever. That's my life story.
Did you have the long hair?
Remember what I
Did-
said?
Did you have the long
Yeah.
curly
True
hair?
story. What's that?
Did you used to have the long curly hair and all that? Come on.
I did, well, you know that's a funny story in itself too because I had my hair was like yours. I had really
Yeah.
long hair,
Right.
like this, and then I was a biker. I mean, you know, with the chain
Oh,
from
geez.
here.
And a disco.
Oh,
Wait,
okay,
you're a
okay.
biker and a disco geek. Oh, what?
I was a biker first.
Okay.
I was a biker first, but I mean, I had the mutton chops and the whole bit.
Wow.
Wow.
But yeah,
We didn't read about that part.
no, you
He kept that hidden.
Whoa, so let's pause from the disco real quick. Let's get how did that come about? How did you go into the, oh, that's the same reason? Oh my god.
Well, I want to hear this. 'Cause the guys on the camera are like, what the hell is he talking about?
off camera.
Oh, this guy.
That which vexes all men. Let's put it that way.
Let's just say because that was a transition between one to the other.
Okay.
I was still a biker, and I started going to this club at Southland that was downstairs. God, what the heck was the name of it? The Courtyard.
Oh.
And I wasn't 21 yet, but they let me in. And then I started seeing somebody that was there. She was 29, I was 20. So
Ooh,
it kind of
cougar,
made a.
Cougar. It wasn't called cougar back then.
No, it wasn't that. It was normal.
Yeah.
Lucy.
So yeah, my mom was thrilled. So anywho, it just kind of changed me a little bit, and that's where the Angel Flights and the big Paisley
Oh,
shows.
Oh my
yeah,
god,
yeah.
you did all that.
Oh
too?
yeah, of course I
man.
did.
I used to have remember the John Travolta long collar things that pointed way down
Yeah.
here. I mean, it was
Yeah.
But most of the stuff you saw from the dancing, I was literally that movie story of the street dancer and the train dancer getting together. I saw this girl dancing at this club, and we were both in a contest that night. We saw each other, and we go, "Oh crap, I want to dance with you."
Was she also older?
No.
Okay.
Matter of fact, she's a little bit younger than me, but
Okay.
not much. And then we decided that right then and there we wanted to dance with each other. We were never a couple. That's why we stayed together for 6 years dancing.
Wow.
We were
just
roommates,
dancing.
best friends. She's my sister, and I talk to her to this day. But her parents owned a dance studio, and they were ballroom dancers.
Oh,
So we
wow.
were incorporating the ballroom in with the disco, like the New York hustle, Latin hustle,
Right.
all that, mixed in with the ballroom. So we were doing stuff that other people were not.
Yeah, you guys were
And
mixing it up.
I mean, we did. It was a few years that we paid our rent, bought our food, partied on the money that we made from dancing.
Wow.
So, and then we taught disco lessons at her
Is that
studio.
the Arthur Murray style?
No. It was
you
Hill
remember
School
those
of
guys?
Dance in Hayward. It's an overpass on the 580 now.
Well, that's cool. It's funny because I kind of dabbled a little bit in there for maybe about 6 weeks, because then I fell. I couldn't lift the girl. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Well, back then I was like this much even shorter than I am now, and yeah, I mean, you had to be a good disco dancer. Two things had to happen. One, you had to get the physique for it, because if you're kind of chunky or anything like that, you just weren't gonna. Nobody even wanted to see you.
Yeah.
Two, you actually had to know how to move, and that.
Footwork.
Well,
Oh.
martial arts guy.
Tie in.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you didn't do those two things, you just weren't going to make it anywhere. And it's hard to get into disco.
Yeah.
Disco is not as easy as it looked.
No.
I mean,
not the
there was
way
a
we
lot
did
of lot of physical attributes that you had to do, lifting
Dude,
and
there's a
spinning.
picture where you're holding a woman literally parallel to the ground right here.
Oh,
I'm like,
you don't know the half of it. It started here and she's rolling
Yeah, see,
down.
I told
and
you it would drop
and,
down
and
when you're done.
it dropped down. There
I
we
knew
go.
exactly
it's
what
called
that
the
move
death
was going
drop.
to be. Yeah. I
And
knew
trust
exactly.
me, she hit her head a few times. Sorry.
Oops.
My bad.
And I remember, because I would watch some of those studio dancers, and when they would, I had friends who were in there, and I tell you, there is some traumatic stuff that happens in the dance studio.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
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 A lot of teams would break up because of what happened in the dance room where they were
oh, they're
practicing.
practicing.
Yeah. I mean, fist fights galore.
That was more training for his martial arts.
Dude. I mean, the women were more aggressive than the men were, and when they got into fights, that meant the whole career was over. Both sides lost. I mean, nobody won when they broke up, right? I mean, they were taking everything, and then it was hard for them to come back with a new partner because nobody would acknowledge it.
Hothead,
Oh
yeah.
no, that's not what's his name, or
Yeah.
that's not what's her name. And I mean, I remember all that. I'm like, wow, they were brutal.
Yeah.
And then the competition was bad. They were trying to knock each other out. Right? How many
Well,
times did you,
competition was
vicious?
Vicious, yeah.
Yeah, so what was behind the scenes in that? What was that scene?
Yeah, he's young. He doesn't know.
There was a group of maybe 6 of us within the Bay Area that we seemed to always compete against each other. But we would go down to L.A. and party and dance and do stuff in L.A. We danced on the Wolfman Jack's Midnight Special.
Oh, wow.
I got to be this far from Michael Jackson and Jackson's and Peaches and Herb. And there was a whole bunch of other acts that I got to see like right here because they were performing that day.
Right, and you danced to the music
and
live.
we would dance to them, and it was fun. The dancing made my martial arts better.
Yeah.
By
Yeah,
far.
definitely.
I called that my disco break between martial arts, and I took a little break. But even during that break, I was still sparring with other people that I knew.
Okay.
I was
Not
still
just
training.
on the dance floor.
No.
Right.
We'd get together
You were
because
the
other
guy that-
bouncers were martial artists too.
Right.
So we would
right,
get
right.
together either before, after, or during.
You're not the guy that killed disco, are you?
No, but it still lives in me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
it was a good time in my life, and I love it. But
Right.
I'm glad that part's over.
So, because I remember when Saturday Night Fever came out, dancers were ecstatically happy. I mean,
that killed disco. Not only did that kill disco, that started this, which we always laughed at.
because none of them ever did it.
Oh my God, those were the guys who were
Right,
just.
but when that came out, I mean, the dancers
did,
were like,
it did.
I mean, for a little while, for maybe about 2 years after that, it was a great thing for disco. 'Cause
About,
it brought it up.
it did, it did,
brought
but
into the
it
limelight.
killed it, just like everything, just like
Yeah.
oversaturation of anything. you know.
True. Pop
That's-
culture.
Yeah, it is.
And then part 2 just really sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a part 2.
Oh yeah. Staying
That's
alive.
how bad it is.
It was horrible.
Saturday Night Fever and then Staying Alive. And it was just,
Ah,
was
is that
horrible.
okay?
yeah.
Okay, disco's done. Let's kill disco right
So
now.
after disco, you get into what I like to think of as searching the martial arts world, because you started to bounce just a little bit. You found kaiju.
Well, I went back to.
You went back to okay.
Yeah, because see, we didn't finish
I
that.
thought you went to
No.
taekwondo first.
Taekwondo for 6 months, and then 68 in the kaiju. So I've been in kaiju
that's
since
right.
68.
Wow, that's a
So
long time.
I'm probably what I consider late second generation, early third, because the Palins were still all there. Max had just left.
Right.
But Richmond NT, my personal instructor, James Juarez, all the Palin brothers. Basilio Palin was my first mentor.
Right.
You know, and I was there from 68 solid to 73. Got a job at Lucky's.
Max is in the Philippines, right?
Max now is in the Philippines, yes.
Okay. Who's running the store? Because I know there's
Jordan in San Leandro.
in San Leandro.
In San Leandro.
I was
And
there.
then-
I visited Mickey over there one day.
Yeah.
A couple of.
It's a great new location. I don't
Yeah.
think he's
It's
hardly
a beautiful
been
place.
able
It's
to be
big.
open too much.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
sadly.
huge. I mean, it's twice
Sadly.
the size as this. I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is pretty nice.
Yeah.
When I visited, and Mickey's a hoot.
Well, yeah.
Did you have to like drug him to calm him down a little bit? Because that guy's just going to.
Calm down.
He told us the story, yeah. But when I first met Ron, he punched me in the chest and said, "I want to learn from you."
Oh yeah, I stole him. I stole him dead. I don't snake students, but I snaked Mickey because I just saw what he turned out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you know, and he's been a great student, a great
he's a
friend.
hoot.
Yeah.
He's a hoot.
Yeah, he is.
Just
He's
a
funnier than
ball of
shit.
energy.
Yeah, he is.
I
Can't
mean,
sit still.
he doesn't stop. He's on
I
drugs.
wonder where he learned that from. I
We
don't know.
always think that he's
That's
on
good.
Ritalin or something. He's just kind of, you know.
His mind works that way. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, how do you
Just
calm him
blind.
down?
hit him more.
He
Tire-
moves too
tire
fast
him
now.
out.
Yeah, we have a hard time trying to hit him.
Well, he moves too fast. Not fast
Yeah.
enough.
No,
Hear that,
well,
Mickey?
that
Not
day.
fast enough.
Yeah, that's why you
Well,
got hit.
what you guys didn't look at,
Uh-huh.
did you see the YouTube video of him and I fighting for first and second place?
What?
No. I
In
didn't
a
look
knife
that up.
competition? It was 10 years ago. He would have been in his 30s, and I would have been like 56.
I think he only showed a clip of.
Yeah, he showed that clip.
one
Go to
clip.
YouTube and go watch the whole thing. And,
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
And especially the end.
Well, I guess you're telling us you won.
No!
He's being modest.
How
see it
can
for
an old
yourself.
man win somebody in his prime? How could that ever happen?
This is the life of a martial artist. We always get our ass kicked by the older guy.
Sooner or later it happens. It happened now because I look good on the outside. The inside, I'm
Really?
like mush.
Well, let's talk about your health. How was that?
Supraspinatus torn on this side.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Supraspinatus torn on this side, and subscapularis, and I ripped my bicep. I have a hip replacement on this side. I desperately need one on this side. I'm in pain today. And yet, you know what? So what? It's just pain.
See?
I just
told
deal
you,
with
that's
it.
how it is.
Just deal with it.
I'm the same.
Because the older you get, the more you hurt, and if you let it, it will control your life. And if you don't, you just go on.
We just tend to ignore it, don't we?
Yeah.
Right.
Boom.
Marvel's a fucking.
Boom.
I'm
Anywho.
going to chiropractor twice a week just so I
I don't
can
need
not
that.
end up like you
That
guys.
costs too much. Why waste my money in there?
So at that first school that we were at was on
Jesus.
MacArthur Boulevard
Right.
in San Leandro, and Jimmy Lee, Bruce's
Bruce, yeah?
Yeah.
Chinatown partner,
Right.
they used to bring their guys over to spar
Right.
because we're the only ones that sparred like them.
Right.
So they'd come over and they'd have Jim and Richmond Enti and the Palin brothers, and they only came by twice. They didn't ever came back the third time. But it was quite.
Do you think martial arts has changed a lot since then? Because I remember back then, it was, and I competed with the Castros and Alamanis and
Yep.
all those guys.
Yep.
And
Sure.
it used to be a ton of people would show up. You remember that?
Yeah,
I mean,
because there was like 3 or 4 a year,
Yeah.
not 3 or 4 a weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes a
yeah.
huge difference, and
Yeah, it does. Something
has
to
it
look forward
changed? Some for the good and a lot for the bad.
Yeah.
The sport karate, nothing wrong with sport karate, and I was guilty. I mean, I was out there
Right,
every
you were
weekend
there.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, I competed. I got my butt kicked by some of the best in the world. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It was fun. 3 or 4
It was
times
a lot
a
of
year.
fun because there was so much more pageantry back then, right? When things happened,
CKC and Long Beach. And,
everybody would come out. There's a whole thing. First you'd have the Katas division, and then you get the preliminary bouts, and then you get the main thing the next day or so. There were like 2 or 3 day competitions. You remember that? That was some really good stuff.
Good stuff.
And nowadays, they put everybody in the same room, and you're all going. And then maybe
You
at the
can't
end
even
of
see everybody fight.
You had to run around. I read somewhere where you thought martial arts is dwindling down. Why you were saying
Well,
because we bring this up a lot.
Yeah.
MMA was the best and worst thing that ever happened to us.
True.
Like fun killing disco.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to bring that up back then, but now I will bring it up. And and we're guilty because we do.
Yes.
I do it too,
Right.
but for a different reason. We've had our fighters. My big Eric was North American Muay Thai champion, and not my student, but my son-in-law. If you guys,
Okay.
Michael Mayday McDonald was fought for a UFC title.
Right.
That's a great story too, by the way.
Give
How
us
he
his
became
number.
your
We'll give him a
son-in-law?
call.
Yeah, he wants nothing to do with the martial arts at all.
That's the guy we want to talk to.
Definitely.
Nothing to do. He does his woodworking and he loves it. He has a great time. They have a great life, and
Give us his
doesn't
number so
even
we can have
think
a
about the
conversation.
martial.
Let him know we want to have a conversation.
yeah, I don't think it'll happen. But anyway, so
We'll ask him to make us sticks.
everybody has to be a fighter now.
Yeah.
And the loyalty of the martial arts has dwindled.
Yeah.
And by loyalty, it's okay. I tell all my students, go learn whatever from wherever,
Right.
And sometimes they go forever, and it's because they find something that suits them better.
Right.
And you know what? We all do the same thing.
And I believe
trained
that,
it yeah.
Yeah, because my brother is always saying that you don't find the art finds you.
Yeah.
And when you go and explore, you see something that says, oh, that art wants you to be in there because of what you can and can't do.
Exactly. Well, everything I've ever done is just to make my Kaji Kembo better.
Right.
I have done a lot of things, but again, it's all to make my Kaji better.
Did you get the stink eye from the commissions or the groups that when you were starting to change things or when you're trying to add things you shouldn't add?
Nope, because of Gaylord. Because of Gaylord, he was very innovative, and it was okay if you did things a little bit different. He wanted, Kaji Kembo in the whole was devised. At first, there were no forms, there was
Right.
no curriculum.
Correct.
It was about self-defense.
Yeah.
So it's okay to add this and add this. Grandmaster Gaylord got us, exposed us to Hickson Gracie in 91. We did some seminars with Hickson in 91. Right? So
That's when they were really coming up.
That
right?
was
because
they
of
were just
because of the original UFC.
it was $50 for the weekend.
Yeah.
How long ago was that, right? But and Danzanru has always been a part of our
Right.
program. Danzanru is a big part of what we do here.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
know we had Denise Gonzalez
Yes,
on,
yes,
and she speaks really highly of Dunson's.
Yes.
We're like, wow,
And I felt some of it.
Because it's a break you, hurt you. Don't do that again, martial art.
oh, he got slapped around by her.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Watch that video. She
I'm
just
like grunt through the whole thing. Just,
I was wondering when I was going. Should I have brought my own uke? But then I watched you. I go, nah, he'll be okay. I'll just say I'm sorry a couple times. It'll be okay.
there you go, challenge accepted. I don't think you can hurt him. Let me encourage it. If you can make him
this
cry,
has
and squeal.
backlashed in the
Well, I
past.
already have
Stop
about
it.
3 or 4 things that I had planned.
He's been writing it up before we got here. See, what am I going to do?
See, research isn't always a good thing.
I
to
hate
eat,
you
though.
both.
So the first thing I ask him when he gets in the car, I go, "Did you bring your cup?" He goes, "Toot, toot, toot."
Well,
"Yeah,
you
I
know
got
what? I was going to remind you of that, but I go, no, I think he's smart enough that he's going to bring it.
only now."
Only now.
He-
And if
I've
not,
learned
I got
my
an
lesson.
extra one in
well,
one of
he
those
heard we were
boxes.
coming here to see you, so he goes, "I'm bringing my."
Oh,
cup."
yeah,
And he was like, Kaju? Yeah, I'm bringing my cup.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bringing my
Smart
cup.
man, for sure. You got to love a system where the first 6 things we teach you all involve a groin kick.
Restomp the groin.
First 6 things, the first 6 techniques we teach all have a groin kick.
All right, we're going to do the 6 after that.
Well, that just breaks stuff.
Oh,
Actually,
man.
one of them will be Cobra Kai's
Oh, ouch.
from
Yeah.
episode 5. Have you guys watched it yet?
Yes, crazy show.
Episode 5 is my favorite.
So I can quit now, right? Like, just walk
No,
out.
no, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Shut up. Sit down and be quiet.
I won't say anything more, but episode 5 was
Oh
was
no,
my
I
favorite.
love the shows. I love what they're
Yeah.
doing. I love the nostalgia that they keep bringing back.
Yeah.
How he goes bounces
All
back
the
and forth.
original-
I think if we were
actors?
open
Yeah.
for business, it really would be good for business right now.
Yes, wouldn't that though?
I mean, if it wasn't for my friend Alan, I would be, I'm blessed beyond belief to have him
So
as a friend.
shameless plug right now, because you said your friend Alan. This is his studio.
This is his studio.
So let's talk about that for a minute,
Yes.
just so
Just
that
so that-
the
so
audience
people know.
gets a background why we're in this place, because this is really not your. I mean, this section I guess is your dojo,
Yes, yes.
but the rest and
It's
dude,
big.
walk the facility. It's humongous.
But I have access to all 3 rooms.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There's like 3 gym parts or 3 dojos.
Bigger than
Then you
this
have
one.
the back rooms over here that I saw when I went to the restroom. I mean, this place is huge.
And there's a floor upstairs that's the size of this entire building.
Oh wow.
Pretty much.
Wow.
If you ever wanted to utilize it. So yeah, it's a great facility.
Yeah.
You know,
And where are we located? The address and all. Right there.
3500 Bernal, 3550 Bernal Avenue in Pleasanton.
Okay. And you're also doing Zoom classes now, right?
I do Zoom every day. Zoom, here's how I pivoted my business now. So Zoom exclusively Monday.